Greetings, brethren, and welcome back to the How to Get Better at Chess series, where I, the Chess Crusader, play a game against somebody on chess.com, explaining my moves, my ideas, openings, endgames, tactics, just ways to help you get better at chess. So, let's start here by playing against somebody on chess.com. After this, we'll do a game review too, just to go further into depth on the game. So, we're white pieces. I like to start off with knight f3, also c4 sometimes. I like to stay away from the basic beginner stuff because I want to make chess interesting. But in this case, we'll just play simple move, knight to f3. Good idea. Just bring the knight to the center, control some squares. Okay, he plays common response to it. We'll just play the King's Indian defense now. We'll just go here. A lot of ideas can be just like, okay, try to put your pawns into the center, develop your knights and stuff. But here we're just going to play some opening theory for the King's Indian defense today. So my whole idea is to try and castle, put the rook behind this pawn, and then push this pawn forward. So we do all of that basically just after setting up these two knights like this, the fianchettoed bishop, and all of this. Yeah, so in this position, we'll just attack this pawn right away. He'll probably go right here, but that's kind of a super weakening move. Because like I can go here, give him a check, like he can bring out his bishop or something, but we'll just go here. He wants to trade his center pawn for some side stuff. Yeah, so he brings out his knight here, just completely in the center of the fray, trying to get in somewhere. We'll just develop our bishop to right here with ideas of opening this later and by moving this pawn and attacking the knight if this bishop ever moves. So we'll go here. He likes fianchettoing as well, it seems. Both of our bishops are going to stare at each other, so there's going to be some play along that. Yeah, it might just castle now. Idea could be pushing this pawn and then just trying to damage the pawn structure there. We could try to go for that as well. We'll keep that in our back pocket. We'll just keep everything safe, everything simple. We'll just castle for now. Okay, so he brings out his pawn here. Yeah. We'll just bring the rook as normal, try to push down the center line, and go to town like that. Okay, we got a castle. So, yeah, I want to try to keep my bishop active on this line, but so does he. His rook is kind of super trapped right now, so we can try to make moves that threaten pieces. So, what we're going to do, we're going to attack this knight. If I go here, then it'll open up this bishop onto here, and if he moves his knight here or here, I can move my knight literally anywhere, like here even, just to do like a discovered attack on the knight and the bishop as well. And that'll just be very advantageous to me. So we will push this pawn here, trying to get the knight to move somewhere. And then wherever the knight moves, like he can go here, but then I think we'll just push again, just try to take some space. We do have to worry about this pawn. This pawn is hanging, but like there's lots of other things for him to be looking at right now. So for instance, like now this wall is super nice right here. And if I move this knight anywhere, like I can move it like probably here, then my queen will attack this knight, but then also his his bishop in the corner. I guess it'll be equal trades at the end of the day, but I have my idea where I just try to go for an attack on this side. So we will... What do we want to do here? Because he can always just choose to go first, because I don't really have like a threat on anything big and important right now, so maybe I won't do that actually. I definitely don't want to take here, because then he's going to get his bishop onto like a good square. So we'll just play everything normally. Maybe we will try to develop this rook onto a center line here, just in case this trade does happen. That is our idea right now. This knight is super loose, once again, so we can... If this knight ever has an opportunity to go somewhere, this knight's going to be under a lot of pressure. The problem with this idea, which I was discussing before, is that, or like going here, is that he can just choose to do this first. And then if I trade back, then, yeah, it's not not a huge advantageous position for me right now. I do have the nice line. I might try to start an attack and go over here, just onto the king. But we'll see what my opponent does. Okay, my opponent goes there. Perfectly reasonable move. I might even try to just get in here. That might be an idea. Just move my knight. This knight wasn't really doing anything. I could have tried to patrol this square, but it doesn't really do much. My idea right now is just to go right here. Yeah, so he takes back. Because if I take with this knight's also under pressure. But then he can take this pawn, I think. So, you know, it's nothing huge, not a huge deal. Nothing big happening right now. Okay, so he wants to trade this rook. Seems perfectly reasonable to me. I kind of want to keep my file open, so we will just go here. Threatening both this bishop and the rook. Obviously, he's probably just going to trade the rook first. That's okay. He might try to trade this first. I just want to try to open up some files because I've got three tanks on the center, just trying to push down the middle here. I expect him to either trade and then take the knights, or yeah, do something with it. Either way, like, okay, this, and then I go here, and then if he takes, I'm going to go here, and then put the knight here, so that if he takes, okay, there, then I'm going to go here, because my rook defends it twice, and then I'll have two pawns that are very strong there. That is only if he takes. If he doesn't take, then I'll just probably go for the knight or something. Okay. So yeah, he's just trying to trade, but I don't really want to. I want the file if that happens, so I'm just going to go here. This leaves these bishops staring at each other, which sometimes they can forget. Obviously, you don't want to play chess in a way like, oh, if my opponent forgets this, but, you know. If I take this, there's nothing with this knight, because I can just, you know, take right here. My idea, certainly, yeah. So we'll go here. We'll take with the bishop, I guess, because then I can maintain everything along there. Just because this rook is really good at defending all of this. So these bishops do stare at each other. Both of these knights are hanging. So he's probably got to take with one of them. And then I just have a super strong pawn, which I'll try to get to the end. So it's looking pretty good for me right now. Yeah, lots of pieces, like this piece is hanging, this piece is hanging, and this piece is hanging for him. So, okay. The thing is, do I want to kill the bishop or this? Probably just this first. And then he's probably going to want to trade, you know, this bishop off. Okay. But now this pawn is incredibly strong for me. And I can, yeah, might even just try to go here. Go here, and then this just blocks this forever. And then just try to work in with my rook. So that's probably the idea, is to go here, here, bring this rook in over here, and then just cause mayhem. Because if I can get this rook onto this square, then I can push this pawn and bring this bishop here. Of course, that's if he does nothing, but it's just kind of a game plan which we're working with right now. I might want to reinforce this pawn right here, though, first, before I do that, before I move this rook anywhere, because of course this rook is defending this pawn. But we'll see what my opponent's ideas are right now, because the material is completely equal, but I have a much better pawn here. Much better. Okay, we will reinforce right here. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. We will probably try to threaten this knight, because his idea is he's trying to like take and then take and then take. So I can't move my rook right now. But if I get this knight out of here, then I can. So where can this knight go? It can go here, you can go here, you can go here, and you can go here. So if I push this, the only square that he can actually go to is retreating. So we're going to go here. And this knight has to run away. Just has to. Then it might even be worth trying to get in here, because then I can get my... because then I can get my rook in there. Because before my plan was over here, but now you got to learn to adapt too, right? Because if I go here, then it might be pretty dangerous for my opponent. Because, yeah, okay. So the idea is to go here, and then he pretty much has to bring his king forward. But in which case I can bring up this rook, and of course he can take this pawn, but then I'm just going to start clearing out the back rank, right? So let's do this. I think his only move to, like, is to do this. Okay, I forgot that this pawn was here. I might have forgotten that. But this is okay because he can't actually take this pawn yet. Backup plan because of this fork. And there we go. Now we get the knight. Check again, and then I'm getting this pawn right here. And okay, so it didn't quite work perfectly, but the idea and the structure was good enough that here we go, and now we're good to go. So now, so he puts his rook here to try and defend, but I don't think I even care, because his king can't get back to defend, right? So I can just go here, and bishop defends this, and the rook's like, hey, buddy, you gotta get out of here. And that's going to be pretty much it for my opponent. I don't think they have any play at all. Like, they have no checks, and even if they did, there's no threat. There's not a threat at all. So, yeah, we'll see what... Okay, my opponent does this. Probably just start clearing out the back rank, I would assume. Because I don't really have, like, push here. It just keeps... Like, pushing isn't a great idea here. So we'll just start clearing out the back rank. So his idea is to try and cut the circulation here, but it doesn't actually work, because if he pushes again, I'm just going to go here. And he has no threat. And especially after I push this pawn here to protect this bishop, then the bishop just never dies. Like, I'm expecting a... Okay, yeah, we'll take that. We'll go here. Don't even need to rush it yet. Might as well just do this. Take the pawn that's no longer defended. Yeah, no need to rush anything. Yeah, we'll just go back over here. No problem. Here. And yeah, I guess we'll just push this pawn in the corner. Might as well. Yeah, like, that king's going nowhere. I don't know what the idea is. Not entirely sure, but yeah, we're just in cleanup right now. Like, this rook prevents the king from going anywhere over there, so now we're here. And then we're going to get a promotion. Because here, and then if the king is still there, then, yeah, like, we'll go here. Yeah, we'll just go here, put the bishop here to defend the square instead. It's a little tricky with his rook, but, you know, it's all okay, though. See, now he does this. Now we will just go here to secure the promotion. He's probably trying to go for some sort of a stalemate. That's why he's taking so long. It's not a bad idea. You got to be careful about it. This is, you know, they defend each other, so it's good. Yeah, trying to go for something. I don't exactly know what, but we'll just go for a checkmate type thing here. So he goes there. Take this. Yeah, and we'll just restrict the king's movement and do a classic mate him in the corner. Could push the pawn, of course, but you know, we'll work this over here. And at the end of this game, we will do a game review, see what was good, see what was bad, see how well we played. And then here, make sure he's got 2 squares, and then, you know, bring the king over and deliver mate. And there we go. So, good game to my opponent, good game to my opponent. We'll let the game review load here. The game review, okay. And here we go, we'll switch over to our game review side. And yeah, so as you can see by the graph up here, it's, you know, kind of bumpy, but not really. It was pretty much in my favor most of the time. 1600, 1200 play, so he still played pretty well. There was not even any blunders. It was just a couple things that went wrong, and yeah. So we'll go over it here. So me, I get my knight out first. If you're starting, you know, either this or putting your pawns in the center are good ideas. You can move over to the stuff like c4 and whatnot later. But once you've developed like an understanding of the game, we can start doing stuff like this. Okay, so not too many theory moves because, you know, we just counter Phi and Keto our bishops. They're just staring at each other. This was a big idea for the game. They just ended up trading at the end, but it was whatever. Okay, so, you know, pawns out here. Takes. Knight comes out here. Yeah, this felt weird to me. I think I mentioned it when the game started. I don't think I actually acted on it very well. No, I didn't. What would have been the move when this happened? Because putting pieces out into super strange positions is kind of crazy. Yeah, it probably would have been... I'm not entirely sure, so let's take a look. I can't see anything. So here, push, takes. I don't know why he couldn't have moved the knight again. Like, let's say, I don't know, he just went back. What happens if he just goes back? Then push. I mean, yeah, I don't really know. That's kind of a crazy line. Anyway, so under this kind of level, it's all right. It's, you know, a 2-point advantage, but it's really strange. So, yeah, so we never took there, so we'll go back to here. I just missed it. Like, I noticed that this pawn was hanging at the middle of the game, but we're up like 0.6, doesn't really matter at all. Super equal. I get my pawn up there. Yeah, so this is another thing where I had like this discovered attack. I didn't act on it immediately. I didn't really see a way through it, just to kind of take advantage of this. But yeah, so still equal. Lots of mistakes and such like that in this game, but yeah, it's all okay. And I got this. Knight goes in there. He takes. It wanted me to take back with the rook. I wonder why that is. Because now it says it's equal, but I thought my rook was defending this. That seemed pretty reasonable to me. So what is the idea behind all of this? So knight takes. I get bishop in the corner and then like a fork. And then I guess this is better for him because I never ended up taking back and getting the strong structure. So I guess that's that. Because yeah, the whole thing was I'm like, oh, if I put my knight here and if he takes back, then I'm going to get a strong structure. And he took back for some reason, and obviously that was a mistake. Was realigning these pawns so that I could just do all of this. It says it's a bad move, but not really. Like, probably just because he had this right away, but like I thought I could just support. Anyway, it's a winning position. We kick the knight out, we go here. And yeah, obviously taking there is bad because he loses the knight, and then I take this pawn, and then we just clean up on the back. So, Inja didn't like it a whole bunch, but I still played like a 1600 apparently. So if you want to be at least as good as a 1600, this might be the way. It's like, I'm not a pro or anything, but this is still pretty good chess. And yeah, we just worked them all the way to the end, and there we go. We got our checkmate in the corner. So that is all for today. Thanks for coming. See you guys in the next one, and Godspeed, brethren.